So on the video on diagonal lines, I touched briefly on the different sizes of yarn, but unfortunately my samples didn't show up on the video, so I thought I'd do one whole video on yarn sizes and appropriate warp spacing on a cactus flower loom. So I'm talking about single ply wool yarn, and it typically comes in 3 different sizes. It comes in fine, medium, and heavy, or sport weight, worsted weight, and bulky weight. Now, it also comes in tapestry weight, which is extremely fine and suitable for only the advanced weavers. So I'm talking about sport weight, worsted weight, and bulky weight, or fine, medium, and heavy. So this is woven with sport weight, this is worsted weight, and this is bulky. So you can see it gives you a finer design line. The diagonals are a little bit different on the different sizes of yarn. And here's a couple other examples. This is with sport weight, and this is with worsted weight. And you can see it gives you a different line and a much finer design when you use the sport weight rather than the worsted weight. So here's another example. This is with the sport weight, and this is the worsted weight. It just gives you a different angle on your diagonal lines. Now, a lot of people have alpaca and mohair yarns. Keep in mind that wool is very forgiving, alpaca and mohair not so. You can see this is woven with 100% mohair. It's very difficult to lay the appropriate amount of yarn in and to keep your edges straight. So keep that in mind if you are spinning your own yarn, that alpaca and mohair are not as forgiving as wool. So this is a cactus flower table loom, and it warps up at 8 inches per inch. I've warped this up in the alternate warping pattern, which is around 2 pegs at the top and the bottom, and it gives you a warp, warp, skip pattern. This is in the appendix of Weaving the Navajo Way, How to Create Rugs, Miniatures, and More, so you can check out that book if you want more information. So this is the alternate warping method, gives you 5 or 6 inches per inch and appropriate for the bulky yarn. Otherwise, at 8 inches per inch, the most appropriate yarn to use on this loom is the worsted weight, or the medium weight. Now, if you have a maxi loom, it warps up at 9 inches per inch. And the most appropriate yarn for that, well, you can use either the sport weight or the worsted weight. If you do the alternate warping pattern on the maxi loom, the worsted weight or the bulky weight can be used on that. Now, if you have the mini loom, the most appropriate yarn for that is the sport weight. I recommend using worsted weight for your first few projects and then switching to the sport weight as you gain more experience. If you do the alternate warping pattern on that, you can use the worsted weight. Keep in mind, if you use the alternate warping pattern, it goes a lot faster because you have fewer warp yarns, of course. Another consideration too is your physical ability. If you use the heavier yarns, you have to beat it down more. And I have a bad case of tennis elbow, so I use sport weight because I don't have to beat it down like I do on the worsted or the bulky yarns. So keep in mind your skill level and the size of loom you have and the warp spacing you choose. So keep that in mind, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or check my book out, Weaving the Navajo Way, How to Create Rugs, Miniatures, and More. Thank you for watching.